yields back. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Florida's 12th District, 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for holding this hearing. So important. It's no secret that we have been competing with China for telecommunications. It is the center of the debate for 5G innovation and deployment, as well as the identification of cybersecurity threats and mitigation strategies. We've seen some strides toward these goals. For example, we were able to sign my bill, the Ransom Act, into law, which strengthens the federal government's efforts to respond to recent ransomware and other cyber attacks from foreign adversaries. But this is just a start. That's an understatement. We must remain vigilant, that's for sure. Mr. Singleton, drones are a growing segment in society and technological advancements, and not just for entertainment. Archer First Response Systems is a company in Florida partnering with local hospitals that developed a 911 integrated drone system that deploys defibrillators and Narcan spray for 911 callers, a need when an ambulance crew could be too far away to adequately assist. It has the potential to revolutionize first response and improve health crisis outcomes. I'm happy to say the Florida statute requires that no critical components of drones may be made by any foreign country of concern, including China. I'm further happy to say that all critical components of Archer are made in the good old USA. However, the fact is most drones are made by Chinese companies, and many states do not have the same protections as Florida in combating Chinese interference. So, Mr. Singleton, how does the Countering CCP Drones Act help promote and increase U.S.-based market for drones? And should we be looking at a national critical components ban, similar to Florida's, at least in our healthcare space, where it's not just privacy, but potentially lives in the balance? If you could answer that question, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, thank you. Drones will play a critical role in the 21st century economy. There are myriad examples where drones are incredibly impactful during times of crisis, but also impacting and improving the lives of everyday Americans to buy something online and have it delivered by a drone. This is the future of where we're going. The unfortunate reality is that China maintains more than a monopoly in this area. Over 80% of drones are produced by China. They have invested heavily and subsidized these companies and industries in ways that we haven't, and there is a current lack of market competitors. I think, unfortunately, as we've seen with ByteDance, as we've seen with Huawei, we're forced to wage a war of attrition against these companies by slowly eating into their market share, and that will require steps from, I think, Congress, but also at the state and local level to slowly weed out these companies from their supply chains and try to prop up alternatives, whether they're from the United States or allied countries like South Korea and Japan.
Thank you. I'll move on, but that's worthy of more discussion. Mr. Lewis, there are a lot of concerns about China and our telecommunications equipment, and rightfully so. However, we cannot neglect threats we face from other adversaries as well. How are the capabilities of Russia, Iran, for instance, and North Korea developing, and what proactive steps should we be taking to combat infrastructure equipment made by these foreign actors from entering our networks?
That's a great question, and it refers back to Ranking Member Matsui's comments, which is if you took apart a 5G box, from whether it was Huawei or Ericsson, you'd find it depends on American equipment, it depends on Chinese equipment. When you look at the software, it's largely American, it's largely Chinese, but the Russians also are strong in software, and the software vulnerability is one we haven't paid as much attention to. Weirdly enough, the North Koreans, I think it's weird, weirdly enough, the North Koreans have subcontracting companies that make software for Western companies. So if you're using a European product, it may have your North Korean software in it, and you won't even know. So the manufacturing side, largely China. The software side, Russia and North Korea are also involved.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The gentleman yields back.